All right, people, I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. It's the love train. So Tommy's got more of a sunburn than I do, but man, I got too much sun yesterday. I've got a headache, so I'm going to go a little bit earlier than normal because I think the headache's just going to get worse. I'd rather not work with a really bad headache. Do me a favor, please. Hello, Jane Kristen. Thank you for being here. Barella, Murphy, good to see you. Let's hit the like. It's going to be a cool one. I was going to do this yesterday, but or the day before, I mean, and it just kind of didn't work out because of the internet, developing country and all. You know how that works? So this is going to be a fun one. You saw the thumbnail. Are you a critical thinker? Hi, Arwa. Or are you a critical blanker? Did you get what I mean by that, right? You're either going to look at something and question it and go, wonder if that's true. And you might do a little research to figure out what's going on. Or you're going to look at something and go, yeah, it's true. I'm guilty of it. Guilty. I did it just about 2 weeks ago, and Barbara Waite called me on it. I said that there were more mosques in Michigan than there were churches. Man, was I wrong. I heard that piece of news on a couple different areas and said, that sounds right to me. Gothy, good to see you, dude. I appreciated Barbara Waite for calling me out on it. She called me out in a comment, and I pinned the comment with an apology saying I would try to be a little bit more of a critical thinker. But here's the thing. Hi, Heidi. Good afternoon. You follow one of two camps. Are you a critical thinker or are you a critical blanker? Let me tell you something funny that happened to me. I don't go on social media. I was talking to somebody today about it. I'm here, but that's it. I think Facebook is a toilet bowl, right? All of them are. They're cesspools. Cesspools. Nothing good happens from them. Keith Kimman, good to see you. Let me share with you something. Somebody I love said today, you'll never go to a site like that and walk away feeling better or more intelligent. There's nothing good on it. So here's what happened. Now, I haven't been on Facebook. Marty Mongoose, good to see you. I do too. I can't stand it. I went on Facebook just the other day, and I bet I was on for about maybe a half hour. I didn't even go to my Facebook page. I just scrolled through the feed and see what was there. Wow, things have changed in a very short period of time. Unbelievable. Just story after story where you could look and go, well, that's not true. Well, that's not true. And dumb people biting on it. I mean, talking about 3AI is going to kill us all and just bunk stories that if you look at it, you can just go, yeah, that's not true. And it made me think. It's weird. If I think if you stay on Facebook all the time, the change is so gradual. It's like watching yourself age. You don't really notice it. If you don't have a mirror in front of you, and then 10 years goes by and you see what you look like, you're like, wow. That was kind of like my experience visiting Facebook. Again, a cesspool. We've heard some stats recently about how many people get their source of news. Pepperhead 300. Good to see you. When they get their source of news from like TikTok or late night comics. I can tell you from looking at the feed, there are so many morons that get their news. Mike Bragg, good to see you. True, Gothy. It's terrible. Heard you, good to see you. And I heard his wife is lurking. What an honor that is. I can just look at the feed that I was on, and I'm not going to go back. I'm not going back. But I can just tell you by some of the comments I saw that it's like, are you a critical thinker or are you a critical blinker? So it caused me to think. I can't tell how many likes there are, but what I can tell, there's only 17 of us. Now, part of that is because I'm going earlier than normal. But please, let's hit the like here. I'm going to show you something. But before I do, I'm going to blow my nose because my nose is stuffed. Be right back. I'm muted. You ever see the Ricola commercials where the guy's got the giant trumpet on the mountainside? That's what I sound like when I blow my nose. All right. It's a cute animal. Cute. All right. So Let me show you guys. Miles, Autism Homeschool. Good to see you. I heard your wifey. Oh, no way. There you are. Thank you for all your encouragement. I'm glad you're here. Awfully cool. I love it when wives and husbands, spouses chime in. I think that's very cool. All right. Let's put a 1 in the chat if you guys remember the National Enquirer. You guys remember the National Enquirer? Believe it or not, it's still around apparently. But you guys, we're going to see a bunch of, we have 10 likes. That's fantastic. I might offend some in this video, and if I offend you, I meant it. True story. Kristen remembers the National Enquirer. You know, if you're in a different country, you may not. But Pepperhead 300 remembers it. I know you all probably do. See, 1 in the chat. Let me show you something. Hi, Heidi remembers it. 15, says Gaffy. Let me show you some things that you might see as outrageous. You guys ready? How about this one? News, bat child found in cage. Boy captured by explorers 2 miles underground. Isn't that something? Front page. Check out this one right here. Severed leg hops to the hospital. You may laugh, but you understand, people, that there are low IQ people who buy into this? You guys get it, right? Look at this one here. No. Yeah. Hang on 1 second, people. All right. Police terrified as UFO responds to their signals. Most ridiculous thing. Now, here's the one. Here's my favorite. Hang on. Here's my favorite. You guys ready for a good one? How about this? Man gives birth to a healthy baby boy. Again, there are people that buy into this. I don't mean to offend you. If you have a penis, you're not giving birth to anything. And if you have a penis, you're a boy. That's how it works. Sorry. Gordon Hash, good to see you. I don't care who I offend anymore. I really don't. I'm done giving a rip. All right, so you think to yourself, well, that's crazy. But that was a long time ago, right? That's what you think. Oh, that was a long time ago. Let me show you a few YouTube videos you can go look at right now. How about this one? Rick Harrison, life sentence rumors exposed. Getting life in prison. Any of you guys believe that that's from Pawn Stars? Not porn stars, but Pawn Stars. Any of you think that Rick Harrison going to prison for life? Anybody? Bueller? They're not. I remember one from I tried to find it because it was a great one. Archie's mom, good to see you. I remember a great one where from the National Enquirer where a baby was born, newborn infant, and whispered the winning lottery numbers to his mom. I don't know if you saw that one. Here, watch this. I'll let you watch it, but you can't hear it. Ricola. Sounds crazy, right? Rick Harrison. Look at this one. Kenneth Copeland collapses in court after hearing his sentence. It didn't happen. Now, the guy deserves a sentence. He's a scumbag. That guy is he's a demon. But there's no truth to it. Here's another good one. Look at this one here. Obama arrested. Trump shares the shocking video. Trump shares bombshell arrest of Obama from the Oval Office. You guys see it? You get where I'm going, right? Look at this one here. Trump AI arrests Obama. Deep fake of Obama's arrest ignites outrage. There's just so much crap. If you go online, you're going to find things that just aren't true. Here's what I want to tell you. Do you understand that there are people that believe these videos? They do. There are videos about me that say that I'm a pedophile. Imagine that. Anybody in the chat believe that? I think pedophiles should be killed. If I could throw the switch on them all day, I would do it. No truth in that. There are videos that say that I am a serial rapist and that I ran from the United States from the law. Anybody knows how the process to immigrate to a different country, you know how absurd that is. So are you a critical thinker or are you a critical blinker? Now, those are only examples from YouTube and from the National Enquirer. What I'm telling you, the connection is that social media is today's National Enquirer. Gauthi makes a good point. It says, you don't know what to believe these days. I got an answer for you, Mark. Don't believe anything. Do homework. Investigate it. Edit. Look at that. Tabloids have just moved online. They really are. It's horrible. But people blind. You know what else? It's even worse. Tell me if you've ever done this, and be really honest, because I have. Have you ever watched a critical stinker? Have you ever read a thumbnail, not even looked at the video, and walked away thinking that was true? I've done it. I've looked at thumbnails and said, wow, did you hear about this? If you do that, you'll see thumbnails about me and think, that guy, Johnny Scoville, is a scumbag. So I just encourage you. Hi, Benny. I just encourage you all to please be a critical thinker. AI can already generate a video view with your voice, high fidelity quality. Start to become even more difficult to know what's real or not, unless you know the protagonist. Let me share with you something interesting. I've seen a video of me where I was talking about a subject matter. I have no idea. I don't know if it was cooking or something. I've seen a video of me, and I'm telling you, I looked at it and went, well, that's not me. Number one, because I knew. But I did for a second half. I went, it paused. I paused for a second. That was created by a friend of mine who was working with, very into AI. He came to me and said, can I make a video about you? I said, yeah, I had to sign something. Like, he sent me an email. I had to sign it. Said for one time only, he could do this. You don't know what to believe. Have you ever seen the video of, put a one in the chat if you've ever seen this. There's a short of Arnold Schwarzenegger with his hair in like pigtails saying, girls just want to have fun. Anybody see that? Has anybody seen that video, or am I just an idiot? I'll bet you money. There's only 20 of us. I'll bet you money. One of the 20 have seen that video. Arnold Schwarzenegger saying with an accent, the whole thing, girls just want to have fun. Yep, celebrities are always being pronounced dead. It happens all the time. Somebody will have seen it. I promise you, somebody here will have seen it. You can't believe anything. And the problem is this. Nobody is a critical thinker anymore. Very few of us are. I'm not. Listen. In fact, watch this. Hang on, just because this will be fun. I don't want you to think I'm lying. Watch this. Arnold.
Strikes upon the hour, and the sun begins to fade. Given enough time to figure out how to chase my boots away.
Now, stop it there, because if I keep going, they're going to demonetize this video. You know what? It doesn't even matter. My videos, I think people at YouTube are like, Scoville, make another one. Demonetize it quickly. Unpredictable Tony, good to see you. Now, I have seen videos of me. Not video. I've seen a video of me, an AI-generated video that was not me. And I told you, if you just tuned in, you didn't hear me say it. But when I saw it, I had to pause for a second and went, what? And then I was like, man, that's not me. Be nice, Pepperhead. Gotta say I agree with you, but be nice. But if you didn't know me, or if you didn't know me well, you would look at that video that I saw and went, that's Johnny Scoville. You're right. It was I want to dance with somebody. Sorry. Not girls just want to have fun. Thank you. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate that. So I've heard audio of me. Let me tell you, there's a guy in the Pepper community who has a channel. A lot of you guys know him. I'm not going to say his name because he's just a scumbag. But he took a clip. He cut off the beginning and cut off the end and took a little bit in the middle and made an audio clip. It wasn't a video. He made an audio and said that I was threatening his life. Posted it on his channel. True story. Now, here's the good news about that. You guys know Dizzy Dragon, right? Well, Dizzy Dragon is like the Chase the Heat historian. Excuse me. He has cataloged almost every video I've ever made. He's a madman. I emailed him and said, dude, I need your help. I need it quickly. He's like, what? I said, told him who the person was. I said, go look at the video. This is the soundbite he's using. I know I didn't say it. It had to come. It came from a live stream. Can you find out where this video was? So I can prove to everybody that this was crap. You want to hear something amazing about Dizzy Dragon? True story. I hope he pops in here. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. He emailed goes, here it is, dude. So I found the soundbite. I found the video. And, the guy, people are deceptive. And that's just me. I'm an idiot. Who am I? I'm a, small fish in a small pond or in a big pond. I'm nothing. So you have world leaders, I'm not sure if it's impeccable memory. It's just, he's just amazing. Or he's a champ. He really is. Jane got it right. I was so excited. I was like, dude, I'll tell you what. So my point is this. All of social media, I don't care if it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, YouTube, Reddit, it doesn't make a difference. Every one of them are cesspools. They're all filled with liars and crappy people who lie. That's it. That's what it is. So you need to you have to be a critical thinker, because right now, do you realize how easy it is right now for someone to make a quick video? And because the algorithm rewards negative videos because it gets more comments, it gets more engagement, and it perpetuates, it pushes it out in the algorithm. Here's what happens. Somebody can make a small soundbite or a small video, and before you know it, that can sway popular opinion. For instance, there are so many people think that Donald Trump was convicted of rape. Never happened. But there are people that believe that. You know why? Because if you say a lie enough, people don't. Critical blinkers. That's why. Critical blinkers. It is better than YouTube history, Gornash. So that's the problem that we've got right now. And it's part of it's just laziness. A big part of it, you know what? Where do you go? You guys ever find yourself thinking that? Well, I know all this sucks. I know half of this BS, but where do I go to get real information? You guys ever wonder that? Hi, Wendy. It's hard. Pepperhead says the majority of pepper growers are good. The guy that did this to me was not a pepper grower. He's just a pepper eater that desperately wants to be famous. True story. Most of the pepper growers are fantastic. There are some that are unscrupulous and dishonest. And I know this to be true because I know these people. But it's no different than anything else. There's always going to be a segment of any group that's shady as can be. It's the way it works. Unpredictable Tony says people are too lazy to search these days. It's the truth. It absolutely is the truth. And the problem is there's no news source that you can trust. Every one of the news sources, like especially if you go on cable, you go to the left ones, you go to the right ones, they're all going to show you the extremes of that party, which sucks because that's not middle America. And what happens is it gives people the opinion that that's the opposing side. No, it's not. That's the lunatics on the opposing side. And Pepperhead says, this is life. Yeah, but you know what, though? If we all say this is life, Pepperhead, we're throwing in the towel saying, screw it, this is how it is. We gotta say, no, you know what? That sucks. We got to figure this out. We have to do our homework. We have to listening. Wendy's listening while Halloween decorating over here. We have to investigate. When I used to, I was a director of a bunch of offices, regional. I had a whole bunch of offices on anything. And when the guy put me in charge, he said something to me I'll never forget. Fowler, good to see you, dude. He looked at me, he said, inspect what you expect. You know what I mean by that? And I was young. I'm like, well, tell me. Because if you have a bunch of managers that are running offices of yours and you know what you expect from them, you better inspect it to see if you're getting what you expect. Inspect what you expect. That was important. I did it. I had, I knew what all of my managers were supposed to be providing me. So I would dig deep to find out if I was getting the truth or if they were, cooking numbers to make things look good for their offices. And I found people that were doing that. But if I didn't inspect what I expected, I never would have known that. And they would have pulled a fast one on me. Then the offices would have started to suck, and I wouldn't have understood why. Because I'm like, well, they should be doing well. It looks like they're doing well. That's where our country is right now. We're really in a jam. Unpredictable Tony says, common sense and the process of elimination can narrow it down most times to the actual truth, in my opinion. Yeah, but I think the more time goes by, the harder it becomes. Because, like I said, man, I wish I had that video of me talking. I would have put it in here right now, and I bet half of you would think it's real. And it wasn't me. You know what I mean? It was AI. So we're getting to the point now where, I'm not even sure if it's true, so I shouldn't say it. I'll do some research before I say this, but I had a thought. See that? I was about to tell you something that I wasn't sure of. I'm going to make sure before I tell you. Kingman says, people just like their 5 minutes of fame. It's sad that instead of putting something positive into something, they just love misery. Right? I think here's the problem. Scott Rivers, good to see you. I have issues, he screams to the sky, but his demons are the only ones who reply. I think one of the problems is that YouTube and all these platforms has made everybody want to be famous. Everybody wants to be famous. For years and years and years, I knew a person that was a guidance counselor in high schools. And for years and years and years, they told me that the number one thing that students, Unpredictable Tony, thank you so much, man. Listen, there are a couple hundred videos that in the members only that have never been seen on the regular channel. It's some really cool ones. So please check those out. What was I about to say? I don't remember. Let me scroll back up and see if I remember what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. So for years, kids were saying, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a YouTuber. Now I want to be a TikToker. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is no one's saying I want to be a doctor anymore. I want to be a nurse. I want to be a psychologist. I want to be a therapist. I want to be, that's a problem, Main character syndrome. That's what's going on. When everybody's the main character, no one's looking after the other people. That's what's happening. And I've seen it a million times. Like, do you know how many people have started YouTube channels because of my silly channel? Do you know how many people have started Pepper channels because of this channel? I can tell you over the years, hundreds, because they've emailed me and said, hey, man, I started my channel. Will you come check it out? Early on, I would have said, sure, I'll go check it out. I can't. It's just too busy. But I say to them the same thing. I'd say all the time, hey, the pie's big. Maybe, of course you should do it. You know what I mean? But here's the problem. When it doesn't go well and those guys aren't able to, or whoever, aren't able to be successful, they turn to me and they hate me. That's what happens. All of the troglodytes who troll me are people that couldn't make it as a legit content creator. Here's the difference. If a troll, they don't make content. They just attack those who do make content. That's the truth. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? I think it's Monza. The internet causes human fatigue, in my opinion. I don't think, listen, I'll get that in just a second. Who would want to be a cop? Can I tell you something? I'd rather gargle gasoline than be a cop. I'd love to be a cop here. Oh, be an easy gig. Cop in America? I watch too many videos on YouTube about cops. I wouldn't do it. But human fatigue, let's talk about that. What I was going to say is that I don't mean to bump anybody out, but I don't think there'll be I think we're done. I don't think we have 20 years left before we just self-implode. I'd be surprised if we have 10. Sorry if that sounds scary. However, hi, Josh Cohen. I think if we were going to be around for 100 years, at some point, they would do a study to realize the damage that all of this has created. It's kind of like magazines. So like all these magazines have young girls thinking they're supposed to look like Barbie, right? And when they can't look like Barbie, half of them are saying, okay, I'll be a boy then. Or little boys growing up They can't be what they see in magazines. So, and the system they're in will push that like crazy. I have stories. So we're just in a jam. Like young girls have this image of what they're supposed to be, and it's absurd. Women are supposed to have curves. And if you look at like what the images that are pushed on young girls, that was that. It's still happening. But the internet, I think, is so much worse. It's a horrible thing. How so little of what we see is true. So little of what we see is true. But we gulp it down. We buy into it. It's terrible. The movie Wall Street E is coming to pass. Or excuse me, pardon me, Wall-E is right? I never saw that. We're just living in a strange time, but I'm telling you, I'm one of those weird guys. I don't think we have much time left. Not nervous about it at all. My head's pounding. I don't think you can tell, but I got a lot of sun yesterday. Too much of it. So the whole point, absolutely, Gordon Ash, it's the truth. Tons of them. There's so much confusion. And you know what? The schools they're in, push it. Schools are liberal factories to change your children. It used to be, when I was younger, it was college institutions. That's where they really became liberal. And I know because I had a normal high school I went to. I got to college and the wheels came off. I remember it was the apartheid. I was at college, and the college they were protesting. They wanted the university that I went to remove every single investment they had in South Africa. And they had in the center of the college was this massive green. It was gorgeous. My fraternity house was right on the end of it, but it was the libraries on one side, huge giant green. And within 2 weeks, it was shantytown. You wouldn't believe it, unbelievable tents, and it was unbelievable. And they were protesting, and I remember thinking, what are these idiots doing? So, but it used to be that it was just colleges that like that. Now it's high schools. Get them when they're young. I'm telling you, if you think I'm wrong, I'm telling you I'm not. I have like stories of family that I don't want to talk about unless I had permission to. But I have family members that were pushed in a certain direction because of their high school. They certainly didn't tell parents about it. Very sad. So my head is hurting. So here's what I'm going to do. Oh, you know what? Heidi makes a good point. Look at the pinup girls of the 40s. You want to hear something crazy? I'm going to say it anyway. When I was a little kid, I saw a painting, a print of a Rubenesque picture. And I was a little boy. And I remember thinking, wow, look at that. Even as a little guy, I remember thinking, women don't look like that. It'd be cool if they did. I'm a fan of curves. I'm not a fan of, I'm just telling you the truth. Pinup girls of the 40s. Marilyn Monroe today, they would say she's fat today. I got news for you. She was a smoke show. She was one of the first women I ever fell in love with. She was the yardstick that I measured women for unfairly for a long, long time. I remember watching the Great Adventure, The Amazing Story? There was some movie with Raquel Welch where they were injected into a human body. Somebody will tell me what it is. Amazing. And I remember watching it. I was in New York. I remember watching it. I was just like, wow, look at that. Here's the thing. Raquel was always gorgeous. So anyway, listen, the point of this video is be a critical thinker. Don't be a critical blinker. Don't let laziness make you go, okay, I did it. I did it famously recently where I said, man, there are more mosques in Michigan than there are churches. It wasn't the truth, but I said it. Now, when I was called out on it, I said, man, I'm sorry I said that. And I didn't just say it in the comment. I pinned her comment where I apologized. But then in the next stream, I told everybody, hey, I'm sorry I did this. We have got to learn to be critical thinkers and not just buy everything you believe. I mean, none of you guys would go back and look at, here, I'll go back one more time. None of you would look at this if I showed you today and say, oh, yeah, no, it's true. Johnny, they found a bat kid in a cave. 2 miles underground. No, it's true. I read it. Honestly, a man gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Sadly, some people believe that. Can't happen. So nobody would see those headlines saying, oh, no, it's true. But we do it every day with videos like this. No, I saw it. Kevin Copeland or Kenneth Copeland. No, Rick Harrison's going to prison forever, a life sentence. No, Obama, he got arrested. Be a critical thinker. And I'm not even telling you, hey, Matt, good to see you. I'm not, Barbara, hi. I'm not telling you this just because if you happen to see a thumbnail that calls me a scoundrel, that you don't believe it. Be a critical thinker. Don't just buy into some cheesy BS narrative. Because what happens is it creates momentum. Don't believe anything you hear and half of what you see. Here's the problem. People can see things. Two people can see the exact same thing and see something different in it. True story. I've seen it. I've been a part of it. Question everything. You know, you ever see when I was younger, question authority. I hated that. I was like, because the people at the time that would say that were lunatics. Now I'm like, question authority, man. You've got to. It's crazy. The liberals of the 60s would be so solid today. A liberal today isn't what a liberal was in the 60s. Not at all. That's a great comment right there. We need parents to be parents. The fathers are absent too often. And that's the problem. It really is. I had a great dad. Today's thinking is backwards. It says in Revelation, Joseph, that in the end days, things that are good will be perceived as evil, and things that are evil will be perceived as good. And that's where we're living right now. You guys, I want to end on this one. Are you ready for something crazy, guys? Are you ready for a crazy Johnny Scoville fact that I don't think I've ever said, ever on video? I said it, I don't remember. I am 59 years old, unashamed. The older I get, the happier I get. I have never bowled, not even once, in my entire life. My roommate in freshman year in college was like, dude, we got to go bowling. I said, I've never bowled. I want to go. He said, what do you mean you've never bowled? I said, I've never bowled. He goes, you have to come. I got a streak going. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I'm 20 years old or 18 years old. I've never bowled. I want to keep that streak going. Well, now who in this chat has a 59-year streak that's still going? This guy does. I'm 59. I've never bowled. Never going to. Got into a fist fight in a bowling alley once. That's a true story. Not even Candlepin, Kristen. The last time I was in a bowling alley, it was in Vermont. I got into a fight with a guy whose nickname was the Gremlin. I don't even know why I'm telling you that, but I've never bowled, not once in my life. And I don't have a thing against it. I don't think they're a certain kind of person. I think it's kind of, I mean, I don't have I don't have a problem bowling. I'm not angry, just disappointed. Here's the thing, though, Scott. Think of anything else, I've done it. I'm a pretty experienced dude. That's just one thing I've never done. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't have a problem. The Big Lebowski, in fact, is one of my favorite movies. It's my top 5 favorite movies ever. There's not a bad line in that movie. There's not a bad scene in that movie. That movie is one of the funniest movies. It'll hold up forever. If there were people 1,000 years from now, they'd see that movie and go, wow, man, that's a funny movie. I'm just not being into bowling. Now, I've been at bowling alleys where I've watched friends bowl. In fact, once I was with my roommate in college. He goes, we're going bowling. I said, I'll go with you. I didn't bowl. I watched. Hi, Barbara Wade. And I'm so sorry to be ending this now. I'm going to end this on right here. It's a quote from Idiocracy. If you haven't watched it, so no, I haven't. What was your quote? I must have missed it. Brondo, it has electrolytes. It's what plants crave. That's what he's talking about. Okay, so Herd's got a 52-year streak of never going water poloing. Sweet. I played water polo. How about that? Melinda's got a 38-year streak of not dying. Keep that one going, will you, please? But a lot of you are going to have a hard time beating 59 years. You know what? My mother was a terrific bowler. It's a true story. She has awards. She doesn't anymore, but when I was a kid, she used to have like awards for bowling. True story. How I never ended up bowling, who knows? David Bully, good to see you. I'm going to wrap it up. My head still hurts. I'm going to go do something, try to make my head go away. Maybe lay down. Appreciate it. Please do me a favor. Be a critical thinker. Don't be a critical blinker. Don't let laziness, and I'm talking about me, all right? I'm not picking on anybody. Don't let laziness, all right, let you just go, oh, okay, because it hurts us all. Dizzy, I was just talking about you. I was talking about how the fact that somebody, don't say his name, somebody, I was going to say I'm going now, but you showed up. Somebody pulled a sound bite from a video and made it sound and claimed that I had threatened his life. And I reached out to you and said, I need your help. How long did it take you? He just showed up. How long did it take you to find that? Do you remember? You guys remember that, Dizzy? Thank you, Garnash. Joseph, I love you, dude. I got a 31-year streak. I'm not walking. I love you, bro. You got a good heart, dude. You're a good guy. It's a good person right there. It took him. I said the chat. It took him less than 20 minutes, and he had the answer. I was giving you mad props. If you go back and look at it, you'll see me say great things about you, Dizzy Dragon. I love you guys. I'm sorry I have a headache. I already had some salt jade right before this video. I'm going to have some more. I keep saying I'm going to end on this, but boy, this is the perfect one to end on. Most importantly, critically think about Jesus Christ because he died for you. And if you were the only person that ever lived, he would have died for you anyway. But he did die for all of us. I believe that. I'm Johnny Scoville. This is Chase the Heat, South America.